Hello, my name is Nick Mitchell, and I graduated from Woodbury University in 2009 with my degree in business, and then went on to attend law school at Southwestern Law School and obtained my Juris Doctorate there. Today, I'm the Vice President of Legal Affairs and Corporate Counsel at Logix Federal Credit Union. We're a $7 billion financial institution headquartered here in Burbank, California. And I've been asked to talk with you today a little bit about diversity and inclusion in the workplace. Before we get started, I'd just like to let you know that the views and opinions that I express are my own and not necessarily the official policy or representations of Logix. Also, the information that I present to you does not and is not intended to constitute legal advice. So with that, let's take a look then at diversity and inclusion. Diversity is the understanding, accepting, and valuing of differences between people. These differences can be based on gender, or race, or sexual orientation, religion, or a number of other things. Inclusion is a collaborative, supportive, and respectful workplace environment that increases the participation and contribution of all employees. In today's environment, with so much attention on racial tensions, policing issues, LGBTQ workplace protections, now more than ever, it makes diversity and inclusion a relevant workplace topic. Diversity and inclusion in the workplace create stronger teams, and according to a recent study by the Boston Consulting Group, it can increase the bottom line by an average of 19%. So how does a company promote a diverse and inclusive environment? I'm going to share with you just a few brief tips for improving diversity and inclusion in your workplace. Here in my company, we have improved this significantly over the years, due largely to an intense focus on workplace culture, from which an inclusive environment and diverse employee population naturally flowed. When senior management drives and promotes the right workplace culture, it becomes a welcoming and inclusive environment. So what did we do that worked? And what do I think we can do more of in the future to help continue to move the needle? Well, the first thing that's working, I think, is to have a clearly defined set of core values. Strong companies need clear core values. They are the foundation of workplace culture. They help guide everyday decision-making. For example, a product or a process or a choice that doesn't align with one of your core values can be easily excluded from consideration. They set the tone for how employees from the top to the bottom behave at work. We implemented a set of 7 core values several years ago with input from all levels of our organization. As a result, we have seen a steady shift in our workplace culture to align closely with those core values. We have seen the diversity of our workforce improve, and we've seen that employees who demonstrate behavior inconsistent with our values don't find themselves part of our organization for very long. The second thing I think is working for us is measurement. We measure and celebrate diversity. A couple of the things we measure include gender. For example, 58% of our workforce is women. Race, compensation disparity, and employee turnover. We also anonymously measure employee satisfaction. For example, 75% of our employees consider us a great place to work. 87.5% feel recognized and respected in their jobs. Almost 90% believe management demonstrates behavior consistent with our core values. This type of measurement ensures that unconscious bias does not inadvertently impact things like compensation or opportunities for advancement. It enables us to analyze how we are performing in relation to our desire to create a diverse and inclusive workplace, and it allows us to identify where we can make improvements. The third idea that I think is working for us well is providing and gathering feedback. All employees, from the CEO to the teller, have their performance measured against our core values. But instead of just providing feedback from manager to employee on performance, we've created channels for employees to provide feedback as well. And that has become a vital mechanism to promote an inclusive work environment. We've used things like annual anonymous employee satisfaction surveys, annual management performance surveys where employees rate their manager's performance, and annual anonymous internal department service surveys where employees rate the service they receive from other internal departments. This type of measurement provides large amounts of feedback from staff to management about the organization and its culture. We also use an anonymous email program to the CEO, where any employee can go online and submit an anonymous message to our CEO. The CEO publishes the messages and her responses so that all employees can benefit from the answers. This gives staff an opportunity to raise important issues and get their opinions to the top. It also fosters anonymous reporting of any behaviors that do not align with our core values and allows us to make appropriate changes. Providing and gathering feedback is vital in creating and sustaining a diverse and inclusive work environment. Lastly, I wanted to touch on unconscious biases. Unconscious biases are social stereotypes about certain groups of people that individuals form outside of their own conscious awareness. These biases can be unconscious preferences about working with people of a certain gender, or race, or sexual orientation, or shared interest, or any number of other things. This can be made evident when we see disparities in pay between, say, men and women, or Black people and white people. Certainly, there is no policy that on its face suggests that a company pay its female employees less than its male ones. But nevertheless, in a lot of places, that happens unconsciously. So monitoring and measuring diversity indicators like compensation is one way to ensure unconscious biases aren't having an effect on workplace practices and culture. So is thinking critically about the reasons behind our choices or decisions or statements. If we seek to understand and analyze our decisions and our decision-making processes, we can help uncover and manage our unconscious biases, which will help us promote a more diverse and inclusive workplace. Diversity and inclusion in the workplace is a topic that entire books and classes are focused on, as it is vitally important to attract and retain top talent. I hope the few pointers I discussed are helpful to you as you think about this important topic in your own workplace. If you have any questions, or if you'd like suggestions on a few good articles to expand on this subject, please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Thanks for taking the time to listen today about how to promote diversity and inclusion in your workplace. It's good for society and good for business.